Some journeys begin with a single chair, and nothing is ever the same again.
Episode 22, The Waiting at the Door. When Paul entered the room this time, the silence was different. His footsteps heavier, his shoulders a little lower, as if some of the stones inside him had shifted, but none had yet been carried away. The lines on his face hadn't changed, but in his eyes, a new weariness shone. Not from sleepless nights, but from words circling endlessly in his mind.
Welcome, Paul. I see something new in you today. A heavier breath, a deeper gaze. What's inside that?
Something happened this week. I ended up in the same room with my son, by chance. The TV was on, but no one was watching. I was sitting on the couch. He came out of the kitchen. Suddenly, it was just us. That moment, my heart raced, because this was it. The chance. I could have said a few words, but my tongue turned to stone.
And what happened?
He just took water from the fridge, placed it on the table, and went back to his room. And I held my breath. Stop, speak, I told myself. But nothing came out. Then the door closed, and I was left again with my silence, like I'm a guest in my own home.
When you think back to that moment, what happens inside you?
I'm afraid, not of losing him, because he's already far, but I'm afraid to try. What if he rejects me? What if he doesn't even look at me? Then I wouldn't just be a silent father. I'd be a rejected man.
And what does that thought tell you?
It tells me maybe my son no longer expects anything from me. And that thought tears me apart, because there's still someone waiting. Me.
Paul's eyes weren't on the floor this time, but straight ahead. Yet his gaze seemed to search for his son's face, clinging to a shadow, his fingers locked tightly together on his knees, whitening as they pressed harder.
Last time you said, "One day I'll knock on the door." Let me ask, did you feel any closer to the door this week?
Yes. But my hand didn't rise. It's like there are two voices inside me. One says, "Speak, don't miss this moment." The other whispers, "Wait, later. You're not ready yet." And I obey that whisper. But I realized my son's silence isn't just his. I fed it too.
And how does that awareness make you feel?
A kind of guilt, but also like a doorway, because guilt shows me I still care, that I still want to go to him. This pain, it means I'm alive. Maybe that's not all bad.
Then let me ask, if you could say just one sentence to your son in that moment when he put the glass on the table, what would it be?
Wait, don't go. That's what it would be, because that's the beginning of everything I want to say. Don't go. Stay, because I'm not ready to lose you.
There was a long silence in the room, but this time, silence didn't close over Paul. Instead, it stayed with him. Sat on the same chair, shared the same breath. Paul didn't lower his head. For the first time, his eyes seemed to glimpse a possibility beyond the emptiness.
Maybe that sentence is the first word you could speak at the door. And sometimes, even a single word can shake the wall.
I know. The fear is still there. But for the first time, a little courage sat beside it, like a small chair, fragile, breakable, but present.
Paul was shifting the stones of silence. No wall had fallen yet, but the stones no longer clung to each other as tightly. For the first time, he sensed there might be a sun breathing behind the wall, and at that moment, even that possibility was enough to keep him standing.
These stories are fictional, but the emotions they stir might be real. See you in the next one.